And so there is a better way, and maybe a different way, let's put it that way. And that's maybe a way that we can kind of look into the core reason as to why a person maybe developed a drug or an alcohol problem in the first place.
Even had I not been using drugs and come here, there's still things this place offered me. All that aside, I learned so much just as a person and how to live and how to enjoy life.
I just know that the time was right for me, and I'm going to utilize this different approach. And yet, it isn't different. It was always in me. This is a birthright.
And it's much more than just focusing on the drugs. It affects all aspects of your life.
And by exploring that core reason, all of a sudden, maybe a person can get enlightened, if you will, because most of the time it's blind to them about, why they started.
It's not just about, the substance part. It's really about how to live life and how to process things.
To be able to witness my son, his growth, is amazing. We have our son back.
The stuff they teach you here is completely life-changing. We rarely even talk about drugs or alcohol. We talk about you, your person inside of you, that your natural self. You just need somebody to shine that light on it.
It's so worth it. I couldn't thank Gulf Breeze enough for bringing me back to who I know I am.
I look forward to her phone call. I don't cringe when her name shows up on my phone anymore. And it's a wonderful, I've gained a friend.
So the next thing you know, you're transitioning from maybe a not doingness of something to maybe a doingness, and that is a doingness of living maybe a happier, more fulfilled life.
And what you're doing is creating a new experience for yourself that's way, way better.
And knowing I don't have to worry about the next day or what just happened, it's very liberating.
This place saved me. This place brought me back to life.
If you have this perception of the world that it's actually not what you thought it was, and can actually accept that, you will look at everything differently.
And what we want to show people is their own strength, their own health, their own wellness, and that they can go within, and that's where the happiness is. That's where the peace and contentment is. And that little bit of anxiety or depression or stress that looks like that they can't handle, they actually have the inner resources, and if they can be present for that for a moment, it's only temporary and it'll pass. And that's, just merely, our thinking in the moment and what's happening presently, but that will heal itself or move on its own. There's nothing that we have to do, and we don't need this thing outside of us. We don't need to alter our own state. We don't need to change what's happening. That we really have this health and wellness within us that we just don't see, that we don't recognize.
This place goes way beyond addiction. It goes so much further than that. It's life-changing.
It's amazing the shift of the person I used to be and the person I am now.
And what I see when people come into treatment is they're so afraid to look within. They're so afraid of what they'll see. They're so afraid that of who they really are, of seeing who they really are. But if they could see what we see in their eyes, if they could see the health and light that we can see within them, and they begin to see that. As they see that for themselves, by nature they're happier, and the addiction no longer makes sense to them.
If you want something other than the whole normative 12-step thing, going to GBR can actually help you live a better life, not just get you clean.